Hello everybody, Joe Tactical here again. I'm going to share with you kind of a work in progress. Like many systems, for everybody, it's a constant evolving system, okay? And basically what you do, you find new ways, better ways to do things more efficient, okay? So this is an EDC survival system, okay? This is, at least for me, in my environment, for my needs, and some of my wants, this is what I am currently carrying on me all the time. This isn't backpacking, this isn't an emergency kit. This is just so I have, in the event of whatever would happen, if I was stranded in the middle of nowhere and I wasn't in my vehicle and I didn't have any type of pack with me, this is just something, some basics that I feel that I want to have on me, okay? Am I looking to go in the middle of nowhere and live off of this? No, that's not really realistic. If I had to make do and I was faced with problems and I didn't even have this, I would find ways to survive, okay? So the kit doesn't make the survivor. The survivor and the mindset and the will to survive overcome any of that. And that same mindset is why us like-minded people, if you're watching this video, understand what I'm saying, okay? So this is just basics. There's a couple things missing, and there's a couple of redundant items, I guess you could say, that I carry in addition to my regular EDC. Okay, so I have my EDC system, the stuff that's on my belt, my duty belt and my M2 waist pack and everything, and there's some things that kind of overlap into this. Okay, so just understand this is a self-contained survival system for me at this time. And if you're wondering, this little husky pouch, this red pouch here with the little mesh see-through and a zipper, you can get these. This is the smallest of the 3-pack that it comes with at Home Depot for like $6. So it has a medium size one that's a little bit bigger than this, that's gray. Then it has a bigger one than the gray one, that's the large one, that is all black. And they all have the little mesh thing, and it's really convenient. I actually use the gray one for my E.D.C. first aid kit that I now carry with me as well. So this is the survival kit, and that kit is the first aid kit. Okay, sorry about that, it got stuck on stupid. I am going to add things to this, and I might take a couple things away, not exactly sure. Okay, and again, realistic, we're not going fishing and making houses in the woods or anything like that with this kit. Okay, so just understand that. This is just basic, realistic stuff. Alright? Now, something I do with any kit like this, any kit, fire capabilities for me is essential. Okay? Now, you see a Bic lighter. Now, that Bic lighter is wrapped up in its own plastic bag with a couple of rubber bands. Also, it's in this bag, and the bag might have a couple little punctures in it or whatever. What this is water resistance. If I got caught in the rain for whatever reason, there's a good chance that lighter would survive because it's in its own bag, it's in this bag, it's in this bag, and it's in my cargo pocket. Okay, there's a good chance it would survive. Okay, I'm not jumping in the water. Let's be realistic. Okay, and I have 2 bars of trioxane right there. And realistically, you can break each one of those bars in 3. So, if you're being conservative, you could say, okay, that's 6 pieces of trioxane. Let's just say, for some reason or whatever, you mess up. So let's just say there's 3 days worth of fire making, for whatever the case may be. Okay. Also, with the trioxane, I really wouldn't use it unless it was a crisis or emergency situation, or if the conditions were wet. Other than that, I'm going to just try to process the wood to get it started if I can. Okay, so I would want to conserve that for as long as possible and just use it in the harshest of weather, it being cold, etc. Alright, enough about that. And I know some of you guys are going to laugh, but I just have a couple butterscotch hard candies in here. Okay, this is not my food supply. This is like if I'm out somewhere, and I carry a couple of these in addition in my pocket or some kind of hard candy or whatever, just in general, just to have something on me. But this would just kind of be like, I just faced a horrible situation. Here we are. Alright, I have to kind of mentally regroup. Let me just pop one of these. It's kind of like comfort food, okay? And realistically, it'll probably last forever. So that's why it's in there. Look how small it is. It's lightweight. They're like, you get $1 billion for a couple bucks. So what the heck? Throw it in the emergency kit. Just a couple of them, okay? It'll lift your spirits a little bit more. Help you get more of a personalized mindset in a crisis situation. Also, this is for my EDC flashlight. 2 AA batteries, brand new, and they're like the Energizer Max or whatever. They're not super lithium, whatever, but you know, they're wrapped up in it's a Ziploc bag, and it's put in the Ziploc bag, wrapped up real tight, and then I also put the rubber band on it. Is it waterproof? No. For any realistic situation that I'll be in, you know, I mean, everything, accidents happen. I can fall overboard or, you know, fall off a bridge or something, you know, but realistically that's never happened, so I'm not really worried about the batteries at that point anyway, okay? Alright, a little emergency essentials whistle, just a basic compact whistle. By the way, their website is called beprepared.com, but if you just Google the title Emergency Essentials, you'll find them as well. But this whistle's 75 cents. 75 cents. And just to show you guys real quick, I've been giving them out left and right, and I have them in some other kits. But just so you guys know, when I order from there, I order a few of them. I've given several of these away. I order like 10 at a time. So for $7.50, you can get 10 of these whistles. Alright, now I do have a whistle. This is a nicer whistle. This is like a Victorinox Swiss whistle here. I did a video, I think, on compact EDC signaling or some title like that or whatever. But this is the whistle I use, EDC, in my Maxpedition M2 waist pack. I added that. It's so slim, and it's made out of a better polymer and everything. So I just have that with that system. But this is for this specific kit. Okay, you follow what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's running parallel with the other system, but it's also independent. And I wrapped some electrical tape around there. There's probably about, I don't know, maybe about a little more than a foot, something like 15 inches wrapped around there for whatever reason. You can use that for first aid, whatever you need to do. If you need to repair gear and you can fix it with electrical tape, bada bing, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much that, alright? I know I have a whistle already, but that's just what I do, okay? Also, these box cutters, man, these things are great. Another tip that I used to do actually when I was in, you know, the profession of using box cutters, like doing odd jobs like that, what I would do is, I know it might sound a little goofy, but what I would do is I would take an extra blade. You know how they wrap the blade, this little blade in here, they wrap it in cardboard when it's new. I would actually just take one or two, depending on whatever, and just electrical tape them all around. So I had a couple extra blades on me. Like if you're cutting a lot more stuff than you wanted or knew you were going to, at least you had a couple extra blades on you. And of course you can take it off and flip it, but if you're cutting a lot, sometimes that blade just starts not working as well as you would like. And you got a blade on each side. It's very slim, and it really isn't a big deal. Also, another thing with this, these type of blades, they're really great. You get them for like $3.50 or so for a 3-pack at like Staples. And you could probably order these online and get them for like less than $1 a piece. Sorry, still trying to get over this bronchitis thing I got or whatever. Something else, if you find that these come out a little more, what I always do, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this as well, is I always push this down a little bit here. See the little dimples? Is that way it gives you more of a retention for the blade, so it comes out. You know, you beat it on your side, you close it, whatever. It has more of a retention, but it'll still function properly. The reason why it's in this kit, it's an extra blade for many uses. I do carry on my regular EDC, I have a defensive blade, which is a neck knife. I have a tactical folder, if you want to call it a tactical folder. It's a Black Hawk Point Man. I use as my utility blade to do all my utility functions. And then I have the blade on my multi-tool. And that would be the blade I wouldn't use unless I needed to. And not that I would want to, but that would be like the scalpel blade. That's the blade that I keep clean and razor sharp at all times, is the one on the multi-tool. Alright? So that's kind of that. This is just something that I would have as an extra, but it's nice to have a blade in this kit. But this is very flat. You know what I mean? It's flat, it's lightweight, it works, it's a good deal. Now I know a lot of you guys are going to say, why is this so big? This is redundant, okay? And yes, I do have other fire kits with fire steels and everything else that I could use. They're small. I'm going to tell you something. This is the Strike Force. I have a video on pretty much everything you see here, especially this fire kit here. I love this Strike Force fire starter. Sorry, I'm like getting stuck on stupid. I love it, okay? I don't know why. It's a little bigger than I would have liked, and it's a little bulkier and a little heavier and blah, 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 blah. But I just really like it. So that's why I have it. It has a little compartment. I have a video on this so you can check it out. It has a little compartment. It does have one of those wet fires in it now, and it has the striker and everything else. So that's why that is in here. Now realistically, I always carry a lighter on me anyway, not including this. I carry a lighter on me in addition to all this you see. If I'm out in the woods, I can use that lighter, okay? You know, I don't know if people are getting away from the lighter thing when, I mean, the only time a lighter is not really going to work, is a good lighter anyway, is if it gets wet or if it gets damaged or whatever. But I mean, you can walk around all day with a lighter in your pocket and it'll work. So, you know, I mean, you can't really disregard the lighter. But I do have this and really like it. Alright, this is my backup to my lighter. So there's a couple different ways that I can get fire going. And, you know, it's like you can signal with fire and you can keep warm, you can, you know, prep water and everything else, all that kind of good stuff. You got a blade, another signaling device, a little bit of electrical tape, repower up the light, which is very important, and just some comfort food kind of thing. And also the rubber bands are pre-placed as well. Not only are they holding what they're holding, but it's also good if you would need a rubber band in that situation. So let me just throw all this stuff in here, and I might get one of those little tiny LED flashlights, like the real small little like key ring ones or whatever, but I don't know yet. I feel comfortable with my EDC flashlight, my Quark, my 4.7's Quark Turbo AA squared is my EDC light. I have a video on that, and I feel pretty confident in that, but it would be nice to have a backup. Man, I should have put this in first, that's right. Yeah, see, and another thing, when you got all these like elaborate kits that have a million things in it, it's kind of a pain to put everything in. So I wanted to keep this as simple as possible, but have, you know, I gotta be able to make fire, I gotta be able to signal. I'd like to have an extra blade, and I'd like to have an extra power system for my light. Also, I would like to have another light. This is just a little too big for this kit, so I would throw this in there. Also, it's a little too heavy. That's a little ridiculous. But you guys have any questions, any comments, any suggestions of any kind? Again, I don't want to get into bringing shelter and all that kind of stuff. I am going to add 550 cord. I'm going to add about 15 feet of 550 cord to this. Maybe more duct tape. I have duct tape in my Max Position M2 waist pack now, but I might add another one just because it's so flat. Like when you put it on a card or something, I could just put it right there, and it really wouldn't take up any space. But you see, this is the size I want to be working with. Alright, so it goes in the pocket, and it's not too heavy and everything, and it's realistic. Alright, like I said before, I'm not out there trying to make shelters and you know, do all this fishing stuff and snares and everything else. It's not really that. I don't really get into too many things where I'm going to need that kind of stuff, but I just like having some extra stuff and like to be able to make some fire. So that's pretty much it. Again, you have any questions, any comments, please feel free. And it's like I always say, guys, let's all learn from each other. And this is just a work in progress, so if there's something in here that you see that I could, improve this, by all means, let me know. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. I can't stress that enough, guys. I mean, I make videos for you guys to watch. I'm glad you're watching them. Love them or hate them. Thanks for watching. I'm going to shut up now. Joe Tactical out.